Have you ever stopped and wondered who invented the idea of working from 9 to 5? Every morning, millions of people wake up to an alarm, rush through traffic, work for 8 or more hours, then come home exhausted, only to do it all again the next day. It feels so normal that we rarely question it. But here's the strange part. For almost all of human history, this kind of life simply didn't exist. For nearly 300,000 years, humans lived without offices, salaries, bosses, or even the idea of having a job. So if our ancestors didn't clock in every morning, how did they survive? And what did they actually spend their days doing? The answer begins with the way early humans lived. They were hunter-gatherers. Instead of earning money to buy food, they went out and found it themselves. Some hunted animals, while others gathered fruits, berries, roots, nuts, shellfish, and edible plants. Every day depended on what nature provided. Now, you might be imagining that life was either incredibly easy or unbelievably difficult. The truth is, it was somewhere in between. Many anthropologists who studied hunter-gatherer societies found that the time spent actually searching for food was often much lower than a modern 40-hour workweek. But that doesn't mean they spent the rest of the time relaxing. They still had to make stone tools from scratch, repair broken spears, build and maintain shelters, collect firewood, prepare meals, care for children, teach survival skills, and always stay alert for dangerous animals or rival groups. Survival wasn't a job that started at 9 and ended at 5. It was simply part of everyday life. The biggest difference was that there was no separation between work and living. Imagine going outside with your family to gather food. Along the way, you're talking, laughing, teaching children which plants are safe to eat, and sharing stories. You're still working, but it doesn't look anything like sitting in an office for 8 straight hours. Their schedule wasn't controlled by a clock. It was controlled by nature. If animals migrated, the hunters followed them. If fruit became ripe, everyone gathered fruit. If the weather changed, their plans changed too. Every day was different because nature was always changing. Everything started to change around 12,000 years ago when humans discovered agriculture. Instead of constantly moving from place to place, people began growing crops and raising animals. Farming allowed families to stay in one location. And over time, small villages grew into towns, then into cities. As communities became larger, people started specializing in different kinds of work. Some became farmers. Others became builders, potters, blacksmiths, merchants, or soldiers. Society became more organized, and with that organization came schedules, responsibilities, and eventually jobs. Then came the Industrial Revolution. Factories needed hundreds of workers to arrive at exactly the same time. Machines couldn't wait for people to show up whenever they wanted, so fixed work hours became the new normal. This is where the idea of clocking in, working set shifts, and getting paid by the hour really took shape. If you think about it, that's actually a very recent change. Human beings have existed for around 300,000 years, but the modern workday has only been around for a tiny fraction of that time. Maybe that's one reason why so many people feel mentally drained by repetitive routines. Our ancestors evolved in a world filled with movement, variety, problem-solving, and constant interaction with nature. Today, many of us spend most of the day sitting in the same chair, looking at the same screen, following the same schedule. Of course, modern life has given us incredible benefits. We live longer, we have medicine, technology, education, and comforts our ancestors could never have imagined. This isn't about saying ancient life was better. In many ways, it was much harder and far more dangerous. But it does remind us of something important. The 9 to 5 isn't part of human nature. It's a system we created to support modern civilization. So the next time your alarm goes off early in the morning and you start getting ready for work,